Okay. I'm gonna do story because I'm not really a survival horror.
Live with that hope without ever knowing the full story. In a horror story, there are only victims and monsters. And the trick is not to end up as either. But trapped by the genre, we are all ripped to pieces along the way. This is not the story I hoped it would be. This is not the ending I wanted. This story will eat us alive. This story is a monster.
So, I just found out today. Alan Wake and Control take place in the same universe. I already knew that. But I just found out that Max Payne and Quantum Break also take place in this same universe.
And monsters wear many faces.
Tell her to give it back. Does it show his dong? I was gonna say, dude, that would be the first video game ever where... No, it does! What the hell? What? Tell her I said to give it back or I'm gonna take her phone away.
Where'd he gone? Hey, kiddo. How are you?
I'm good, Mom. How are you?
This trip might take a little longer than I thought. I'm sorry I've been gone so much lately, Logan.
Oh my god, Mom, it's not your fault people get all murdery. What happened?
Just work stuff.
Right. Well, Dad and I are just watching the latest episode of Night Springs here. Mom, it's so good.
No spoilers! I'll let you get back to the show. You were supposed to
What's
wait
up,
and watch
Jesse?
with me. I love you both.
This is what happens when you go on work trips, Mom. Love you too. And say hi to Casey. Tell him to stop brooding so much.
Logan? I will. Bye, kiddo. Logan thinks you should try cheering up.
Snarky kid. Wonder where she gets that from.
Yeah, me too. Is that Michael Shannon?
It can't be a coincidence that another body turns up just as we arrive in town. Feels like the killer's leaving us a message.
I'm glad you're on this case with me, Anderson. It's right up your alley. You should take lead. Think of me as the backup.
Okay. Any words of advice?
Nothing that would cheer anyone up. Here we are. Cauldron Lake.
Time to get to work.
Oh, hell yeah. I think I'll work on Wednesday.
A deputy was supposed to be here to show us to the crime scene. There's the car.
I want to
So
see
where's the
something.
deputy?
By a bear? I'll check out that map.
Is Michael Shannon in Alan Wake 2?
Worth memorizing before we get swallowed up by the trees.
I should take a look at that map.
It is Michael Shannon. So the guy that plays that cop, that's General Zod from Superman. I like him. He's a good actor. And you know what I just found out too? So if you've ever watched the show, Michael Shannon is a really good actor. He's been in a lot of movies. But he's probably most famous for being General Zod in Superman. But he's a really good actor, and he plays a really good villain. But he's also played like cops and FBI agents, and he's played he's in that show Waco. He's like a criminal. The guy Rip is Cole Hauser. Cole Hauser is best known for his roles in Too Fast, Too Furious, Pitch Black, and Benny in Dazed and Confused. I've loved him as an actor ever since I saw Dazed and Confused. Michael Shannon does all kinds of movies. Action, drama, suspense, thriller, horror. I mean, he's an extremely talented actor.
Go take a look.
I never said that, Mulligan. I said we should focus down here, watching this dead guy.
Make your belly aching for them up here now. That's just how the cookie crumbles. Hey, over here. Hey there. Agent Casey, right? Sheriff Breaker said you'd be coming by to take over the case.
You're half right. Anderson?
Saga Anderson. I'll be leading this case. Seems you already know my partner, Alex Casey.
Shoot. Sorry about that, ma'am. I'm Deputy Mulligan. I just figured that,
I mean, I'm sure he does have a movie on Tubi.
federal agent's right here, Thornton.
Just look up General Zod.
Down at crime
Who
scene.
plays General Zod in the Henry Cavill Superman movies? That's him.
What do you mean? I think it was you. Oh, shit. They didn't hear me, did they?
What can you tell us about the crime scene?
Tell them about the heart.
I was getting to that, Thornton. Well, we reckon there are some organs that are currently outside the victim's person when they should be, well, inside.
Damn it, come on.
Were there any witnesses?
Yeah, a couple out-of-towners. I wonder what they were doing sneaking around the woods at night.
Mention the city folk. It's pretty suspicious.
Not that we have anything against city folk, right, Thornton? But don't worry. Sheriff Breaker took them back to town a while ago.
I want to see the body. How do we get there?
Oh, sure, that's real simple. Just through the hole in the fence, down the hill towards the lake, around the old convenience store.
Vince Vaughn's actually a really talented
Everything's been
actor.
closed since the area's fenced
Ben
off.
Stiller always kind of
Store,
plays the same
campground,
character.
all of it.
I used to like him when I was younger, but he doesn't really go outside his realm of comfortability. You know, he always plays like either the really aggressive, like unintelligent guy with like mental issues, or he plays like the goofy, quirky guy. You know what I mean? He's never really he never really goes beyond that. But Vince Vaughn, on the other hand, is an extremely talented actor.
Before we get to the crime scene, there's time to review
Although
the
he
pictures
has
from
kind of
afar.
fallen into
Make
like
sure
a
I'm seeing
niche
the clues
lately,
clearly.
where he plays like the overconfident, goofy guy, like the overconfident, goofy slacker,
I need to think through
or
the
like
facts of the
the
case.
overconfident, slacker, smooth talker. Essentially, yeah, and that's kind of like, I think his dad is fucking hilarious. His dad is amazing. Although his dad does kind of the same thing too, where he plays like the same grumpy old fucker all the time. But his comedy is hella funny.
The Mind Place. My version of the Mind Palace technique. To sift through clues and work the case. Building the Mind Place again for each case. Using each field office as a model in my head. The facts are on the board. Everything we know about the previous murders. Worth taking another look.
King of Queens, yeah. With Kevin and Leah Remini. And Lou Ferrigno actually becomes a main character later on, and so does Patton Oswalt. Although I like Patton Oswalt's comedy is kind of funny, but over the past few years he's gotten too political for me. He's gotten too, if you support Trump, I hate your guts and I think you're a piece of shit Nazi. And I'm so fucking tired of hearing about politics, period. I don't care if it's Biden, I don't care if it's Trump. I'm just fucking over it, dude. It's one of the main reasons why I quit listening to The Offspring, too. Just because it was, if you didn't get the vaccine, you're a murderous piece of shit. And it's like, dude. The wife? Who are you talking about, the wife? The wife from King of Queens? Wife and Kids Show? What the hell is the Wife and Kids Show?
I see you're already hard at work, Anderson. Close to cracking it?
We're just getting started. Let's head down the hill to the crime scene.
Better detective than I am. You've cracked cases that had the rest of us baffled. I don't want to slow you down.
Are you thinking of retiring? You know what happens to cops who say this is their last case.
Mm-hmm. Real funny, Anderson.
Yeah. The wife from King of Queens? No, no. The wife from King of Queens is Leah Remini. And she's not a scientist, she's a Scientologist. Scientologists and scientists it's but Leah Remini had nothing to do with Danny Matheson going to jail. It was there's a whole bunch of other, it was like,
Stairs are out. You okay to jump down?
I don't even know who they were because they're not like famous people. They're just like regular women that he was getting all hella creepy with. Well, okay, so she's not a Scientologist. She's an ex-Scientologist. She does that show now where it's like,
Fucking nature. Gives me a headache. It's too much sky.
I mean, you might be right, but I don't think so. She does that one show about trying to expose, whatchamacallit, Scientology for being a fucking, like a cult or whatever. Hold on.
Bad place to get murdered.
If getting back to nature is your thing.
But I haven't heard anything about Leah Remini having anything to do with it. No, Leah Remini just spoke out against Scientology because Danny Masterson was in the Church of Scientology. Yeah, he was like vaping other women in the church. And she's trying to do so. Leah Remini is an ex-Scientologist. A Scientologist is not a scientist. Scientology is a religion. It's a fucking cuckoo religion, and I don't care if anybody criticizes me for saying that. But it's basically a giant pyramid scheme. The more money you have and the more popular you are, the closer to heaven you can buy, is essentially how it works. So, like, if you're a gazillionaire and everybody hella loves you, and the more money you're able to donate, the higher chances of you going or having a higher place in the afterlife. It's not heaven, it's something else. But it was created by a guy named L. Ron Hubbard, who was a fucking whack job. I mean, he was really smart, but he was a whack job. And basically, they're crazy as fucking shit. I mean, they're fucking batshit crazy. But don't get crazy mixed up with dumb or unintelligent, because they're extremely fucking smart. They're just crazy.
Only thing around here that feels like home.
You think the local law had the sense to put up a tarp?
If they did. Next
If you
coffee's
watch
on me.
that show that she's in, she does that exposing Scientology TV show, or she did it for like 6 years. Dude, you see some of the crazy shit that they did. They tied people up. They kidnapped people's kids. Like, let's say, okay, so let's say there's a husband and a wife, right? And they have kids together. And the wife is like, nope, fuck this. I'm done. I don't want anything to do with Scientology anymore. I don't want to raise my kids in it. All the husband has to do is say, I don't want to leave. And they will ostracize her, and they have enough pull in the government to do shit like get her stripped of all her parental rights, make her look batshit crazy, force her to take meds. It's like that kind of an organization. And that's the shit that Leah Remini's been exposing. But as for having anything directly related to Danny Matheson, she didn't have anything to do with it. She just critiqued it because that's the kind of shit that she does. She's, you know what I mean? She exposes that kind of, like, see, this is, you know, we've been saying this shit for years now. All the men vape all these women, and
Hey!
well, I know her and Kevin did another show together that had nothing to do with King of Queens. King of Queens didn't have a spinoff. It ended after like 9 seasons.
Deputy Thornton, I take it.
That's me, at your service, ready to get this case solved. Now the body's behind the store. Come on, I'll show you. So, FBI, huh?
The show that she did after King of Queens was that exposing Scientology show.
Shootouts with the mob?
You forgot the UFO.
I know she was in a season of Saved by the Bell a long time ago too.
You guys hiring?
She was
Just see
Zach Morris's secondary love interest.
Now this is the
I
scene
used to
of
have
the
a
crime.
huge crush on her when I was younger.
Now we didn't touch nothing, you know. Procedures.
And King of Queens did not help that at all.
Thanks, Deputy.
no tarp. You owe me a coffee.
Okay, let's start by examining our guest of honor. Does this fit the MO of the previous murders? Body is positioned on the table. Ritualistic.
You can place it on the case board. So.
Another body turns up just as we arrive in town. Coincidence?
I have no idea what that even is. You are now free to examine the case board or leave. Oh no.
Bruising on the wrist from the cargo straps holding him down. The killer left the heart right next to the body.
This is definitely not like the first
Inside
Alan
stab
Wake. I can
wound.
tell you that right
Chest
now.
cut open.
Alan Wake,
Heart removed.
the original, was not this macabre. Oh yeah, I haven't watched Nickelodeon in 25 years. I haven't watched Nickelodeon since the days of Doug Funny and Ren and Stimpy. Dude, what the fuck? Newly discovered clues can be placed. Dude, what the? Ah.
Nah.
Okay, I understand how it
Heart
works
removed
now.
from chest, strapped by the wrists.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Previous murders. But this time the heart and the straps were left behind.
Which
Like
I
first
like the
time away.
Lethal Weapon movies. I
This
mean,
makes
they
4 murders
they
that we know
evolved
about.
into something totally different by the time the 5th one came out. But you know, the first 3 are amazing. You can check the updated goals by pressing triangle. Investigate the crime scene, learn more about the killer. Okay.
Who is our victim? Who killed him? Need to find more clues. Large amount of blood on the table. The victim died here. Multiple people were here. Multiple killers? Someone left in a hurry. Knocked the tripod over. Was it for a camera? Someone was drinking beer. They spent time here, waiting. Think. Boot prints, indicating multiple killers. Quite the party. Any idea who the victim is?
Oh, I sure do. His name is Nightingale. He was FBI. He came to town about 13 years ago.
Whoa!
I haven't heard a word about him since. Well, until now.
Nightingale. Robert Nightingale?
Oh, yes. You probably knew him. Brothers in arms. Oh, and sisters.
So you knew our victim?
Well, I didn't recognize him in his current state. But yeah, I ran into him a few times at Quantico. We were working the cases together. After his partner got killed in the field, he went off the deep end. Got the boot pretty quick after that.
Nightingale went missing 13 years ago. 2010.
The same as all the other victims.
Certainly fits the pattern. Makes me wonder what was going on that year.
Probably something this town wants to forget.
So what happened to Nightingale after the Bureau let him go?
I only know the rumors. Depression led to booze, booze led to paranoia. He got some wild ideas in his head, chased ghosts until he fell off the map. Guess he ended up here.
I bet there's more to that story.
But no happy ending.
I think that's everything. For now, at least.
Mm-hmm. Anything clicking yet?
Not sure. Need to think about it. They planned for the murder to happen here, passing the time with equipment ready. They were waiting for him. But why Nightingale? He's been missing for 13 years. Why here? Why now? Profiling. Get into the subject's head. See what they saw. Feel what they felt. Use whatever I know about them to guide my intuition to a revelation. Piece it together. This mug always cheers me up. Agent Nightingale has been MIA for 13 years. How did he end up here?
Up from the lake that's not a lake. It's dark. He was there too. You are not allowed in the lake until he says otherwise.
Robert Nightingale came from the lake, before his murder. Agent Nightingale has been MIA for 13 years. How did he... Nightingale was chosen as the victim. Why?
Flick the switch. It goes click. Lights are off. But somebody's home. Somebody's home.
This wasn't some random act of violence. This was a ritual. And Nightingale a component. They didn't see him as a person. More like a container for something. Nightingale was chosen as the victim. The lake is connected to Nightingale somehow. Casey, let's take a look down by the lake. Lead the way.
Sounds good. This way, right?
Right.
Okay, well, I'll just wait here.
This one of your hunches, Anderson? Did something happen at the lake?
I think Nightingale came up from that direction. From the lake. Probably looking for shelter. Safety. They were waiting for him.
When you're ready, I'd love to hear what you put together so far.
Sure. It's not that complicated. Nightingale was out in the woods alone at night, possibly nude. The killers knew he was here, ambushed him, dragged him to the campgrounds, strapped him to the table, cut his heart out. But then they were interrupted by those witnesses, the Bookers. The job is unfinished.
That seems pretty complicated to me. What was this guy doing skinny dipping at this time of year?
Haven't figured that part out yet.
Mm-hmm. Lots of questions.
Lots of answers for us to find.
I didn't know trees got that big. Gives me the creeps.
You need to get out more. It is kind of creepy, though. There's a piece of paper on the ground.
Oh, what time is it? Okay. I'm gonna have to head to bed.
Tracks. Barefoot. Nightingales? They come out from under the boulder.
Makes no sense.
A page full of text on one side. Not a printout. Written with a typewriter. Old school. Lines scratched out and edits added with a pen.
Mm-hmm. Like a manuscript. Page of a story. Killer left a message.
It's for us. The text is about us. The victim was one of their own. FBI Special Agent Robert Nightingale. And then there was the page they found. The first step down into terrifying depths.
Reading the words. These words felt like a message. Someone knew they were here. Someone playing a game with them. An invitation. How could they not accept? Even if they knew it would end up hurting them.
Someone's been watching us.
Playing a sick game with us.
Okay.
You're right.
Alright, you guys.
This is right up my alley. Nightingale came
I'm
this
gonna
way.
go ahead and hop off for the night.
Either he dropped this page, or the
We'll
killers left it
continue
for us.
with more Evil West and Alan Wake tomorrow.
I should profile
We'll
Nightingale
hurry up
about
and we'll
this
get
page.
both of these done. And then once we're done with these, we're gonna jump back and forth between